So today we're going to talk about a watershed. So this is a watershed. A watershed is an area of land where water flows through or it flows over. So who lives in a watershed? Everyone. So if a watershed is an area of land where all water drains from the highest to the lowest areas, the actions we take can make a difference, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone lives near a watershed. So if, let's say this is a community, and let's say that this is industry and businesses, restaurants and things. What do you think this is?
A farm.
Farmland, agriculture, right? And what is this?
Ocean.
Ocean,
Land.
water,
Lake.
lakes, streams. Yeah, it's blue, so it's going to be water, right? Here's what we're going to do today. So we're going to learn about pollutions and contaminants today. So let's get started on some of the things that contaminate our water. So today I'm going to give you some green sprinkles, and we're going to use that as fertilizer. Do you know what fertilizer is? Fertilizers are nutrients that help plants grow. Plants need a variety of different chemicals to thrive, like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen that they get from soil, air, and water. Hold your hand out. Now put that in areas where your plants would need fertilizer. So we would need it in our community, around our houses. Do we fertilize for our crops in agriculture and in our farms? We do that too, right? In the farmlands. So we want to fertilize. Good. How about your forest? Let's get some more fertilizer going in our forest. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, good job, and wipe your hands, just rub your hands together and that'll help it.
Something happened in the water.
So let's talk about the next contaminant. So the next contaminant that we're going to talk about is pesticides. Do you know what pesticides are?
They are things that keep bugs from destroying plants.
Absolutely. Pesticides keep bugs from destroying plants. But we have to watch how much we use, right? We don't want to use so much that it gets into our waterways. So let's go now with the red and let's put pesticides where pesticides would go. So do you need them in agriculture? Do you need them in your farmlands? You kind of need pesticides in a lot of places, don't you? Yeah, this could be golf courses. They use them. In our communities, we use them at home, right? So that's very good. So that's pesticides. Now, let's talk about cars and our different automobiles and things. So cars use what?
Cars
To run.
use gas.
Okay, and what else do they use?
They use oil to not be not for their parts not to like rub together and
oil
damage
is good.
themselves.
Yeah, and oil and gas together make the car go, right?
And
so we're going to use these. This is going to be your oil, and this is going to go on our roadways, right? So I'm going to give you some oil, and I want you to put the oil just on the roadways.
oh, goodness.
And where you think there's an automobile or tractor that might have some oil that could be leaking, right? So let's get that oil going. Oil goes on the roadways. It's in our plants and some of our industry. So that's where oils can go. Wow, look what's happening to our community. Very interesting, right? So let's take those back now. Good job on the oil. Very
no,
good.
but it's going in the lake.
Yeah, so we have to really be careful. That's exactly right. We don't want to go in the lake, right?
We put
So-
oil in the lake.
Then we also have like our forest and our tree areas and even our plants around our house, right? So if we have a lot of soil around our house and around our plants and there's nothing to hold it, the soil, you can sprinkle the soil where the plants goes, the soil also ends up going into our storm drains and it washes down into our roadways. What we can do to keep soils from eroding, they call that, what we can do to keep that from happening is to plant more plants. Soil erosion is caused by wind and water, and that can carry large amounts of soil into the waterways. So trees, shrubs, and ground cover plants protect the soil and keep it from blowing or washing away. So now this is going to represent our grass clippings. And where do you think grass clippings go? Can I have your hand? Where do we mow our grass?
We mow our grass in the yard.
Yep, mow our grass in the yard,
In
golf
grass.
courses. We mow our grass in the farms, right? Don't the farmers go down and they change and they mow in the grass? So let's get some good grass going to ground clippings. Now, if we just use those blowers and we blow all of those clippings into the storm drains, do you think that's a good idea? No. No. So we need to be very careful, and we need to use a broom. We need to sweep those up, and we need to bag them in the bags that are provided by our counties and cities, right? So that it doesn't go all over our community. How's our community looking?
A community is looking like a wreck.
It's looking a little wrecked, right? I'll tell you, because these are the things that we do every single day. Now, does anybody have pets? Or do you know anyone with
I
pets?
have a pet.
Okay.
I have horses.
I know
Perfect.
people who have pets.
You know people that have pets, right?
But I don't have
So,
any pets.
let me ask you about our pets. So when our pets are out in our yards, right? So what do we have to do after our pets go to the bathroom?
We have to clean it up.
Clean it up. It's important to clean up after our pets so their waste doesn't pollute our rivers, lakes, and streams. Our community is looking very messy. So now we're going to add even more. So trash is right. So take your paper, and I want you to rip very tiny. You're not even going to use the whole thing. I want you to rip very tiny pieces and put it where you think that litter could accumulate. We can find litter in many places, like your yards, along roadways, in parking lots, our neighborhood parks, plenty of places. If this is what happens to our community, what do you think happens when it starts to rain?
It all flows into the rivers and lakes and into the St. John's
Storm jams.
Storm drains, yup, the storm drains, the rivers and our lakes. What do you think is going to happen to our fish and our animals and the plant life when all of this washes into
Die.
Yeah.
They
because
could,
of
right?
that.
So I have an idea. Let's take a look at what they live in. Let's make it rain. Let's point those all down, and I want you to work to take all of this. And now, which way do the waters flow? Upstream, or they flow downstream, right? So here comes our water. We're making it rain. Are you guys ready to swim here?
No!
Are you sure? We could take a nice fresh dip. No, right? So do you think that the fish and the animals that live around our wetland areas, do you think they want to try to survive in that?
No.
So what about the plants? You know, plants need sunlight, right? So do you think the plants can get the sunlight through this kind of turbidity, to this cloudiness and all this soil and the messes that's all there? Do you think that could happen?
Nope.
No. So who do you think it takes? Who do you think it takes to help not let this happen so much? Us, every one of us, right? So there's two kinds of pollution when you come down to it. There's a lot of different contaminants, but there's two kinds of pollution. One is called point source. Let me see your finger. Point. Okay. And the other's called non-point source. Don't point. So point source pollution is basically water pollution that comes from one single place, like a pipe. And non-point comes from other places, like our pets, chemicals, and other contaminants we discussed. We can't really tell who polluted this when it's all over, right?
Yes.
You can't, right? Because it's all there. So I can't tell if it came from the community, or if it came from industry, or if it came from a farmland, right? I can't really tell.
You don't know if it came from the forest.
Yeah, or the forest. So here's the thing. Let me ask you something. Because we can all make this better, right? Absolutely. So what are some of the ways that we can not pollute?
By cleaning up every mess we make. But
Recycling is an excellent word. Yes? By cleaning up?
we're cleaning up and recycling, like you said.
Creating compost.
Creating compost is an excellent way. Absolutely.
And creating new things with old things.
So here's the whole message to this story, is that every single one of us can make it bad, or every single one of us can make it good, right? So we can only take care of what we do. So if we pay lots of attention and if we don't over fertilize, we use it just like it's directed, and if we watch how we do our pesticides, and if we watch our litter, and we don't want to throw it out of the car when we're on the highways, right? And not a good idea.
Never.
We want to put it in the recycle bins. We want to put it in the trash bins, right?
Ugh.
So we can all make it a more beautiful place, and we won't have this kind of stuff going down into our waterways, and we'll have a beautiful environment, and we'll have a wonderful, clean wetland.